Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Hypermine Vanilla Server. How's everyone doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. We're over here at the slot machine that we built last episode. And what we're going to do now is work on a little bit of decoration. This thing is, it's just the redstone hanging out and showing you everything what's going on. We don't want to do that. We need to cover this up, make it look a little bit better, make it more inviting for people to come in and spend their hard-earned diamonds here. And so we're going to do that today. So let me go gather some materials and we'll get started. And we're back. What I'm going to do now, well, I've got a decent amount of materials here. We're going to throw together some stuff here and then I'll go off camera for the rest of it. We're not going to build the whole thing on camera. I do want to try to put something decent enough together. So maybe up here, kind of along the same lines of what we saw over in my creative testing world. If you remember from that last time, that was a Prismarine inspired build, but this one is going to be a little bit different. Instead, we're going to be using mostly stone brick and some of these other wood textures like we've got right here. And the reason why is that this season I have been trying to do, what is it? Medieval. Okay, so we wanted to go with more of that kind of a style this time. We might change it up for future projects, but for now I don't see the point in changing up a good thing. So what we're going to do there is just kind of bring in some stone brick. And then now in the middle, I don't want that to be too boring, but there's not much that we have in the way of other blocks that would be something, maybe, well, what if we just use some dark oak itself? Maybe throw down some of this other stuff here, get this out of my inventory, and then, yeah, so how about some planks? We'll see what that does for us. Just bring this in here. It's going to hide some of this redstone like so. Okay, that's decent enough for now. We'll see what we think as we put in the rest of this. Okay, we can get rid of the in progress sign as well. And then what I want to do is kind of bring this out a little bit. We need to hide our, what is that? The obsidian right there. And we're going to do that by maybe bringing in that and going up with it. Yeah, let's try that for now and see what we think. Again, I'm kind of doing this on the fly. I didn't really plan on this for this particular episode. Let's do that. And then over here, we're going to bring in the spruce. No, we don't want that. Oh, we got to restart in 10 minutes. So gonna bring this together as quick as possible. Okay, over here, we're going to be needing to do some redstone magic. And I think I've got some in my inventory, so we'll take care of that as well. Again, you know, sometimes that mechanic right there of the offhand is very, very useful. Sometimes not so useful. Let's take this. Okay. I'm trying to make sure that I don't knock out too much. We'll do that and then come over here as well. Excellent. And we'll just put this along the edge like that, as we had it before, almost, but not quite. And I am breaking my rule in terms of what we place redstone on, but again, we're in the decorating phase, so we should be fine here like that. Okay. And then how about some stone brick in the center or between those? How do we like that? Okay, well, it's not the greatest, but it's a start. It's a start. The reason that, there's only so much we can do back here because we've got the slime blocks to deal with. We can't put anything right there in those two blocks. Otherwise, the whole thing stops working. So Got to keep that in mind. And I kind of want it to be symmetrical. So I think we're good in terms of how this thing is going to look from this standpoint. But now we've got to wrap a building around it. And that's the part where I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to go off camera, figure something out, hit my creative testing world, and then I'll bring you back. I may have it done just depending on how the recording time goes. But, you know, if I'm able to bring you along for it, I will. Otherwise, I'll just show you right after this quick break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I did not bring you back for this design. I kind of just worked it out a little bit in creative, but mostly here on the server proper, just in survival mode, stepping back and, you know, putting up a design, stepping back and, you know, changing it here and there. I did have to go into creative for my, not creative here on the server, just to let you know. I've showed you my creative testing world last episode. I went over into my creative testing world, put together a roof design for it, and hopefully you like it. Okay, so there we go. This is the outer shell for what's going to be the little slot machine thing. And let's take off the elytra because it's kind of annoying jumping around with those. So let's put those away as well because we certainly don't want to lose them. And then we'll get our ender chest back. Okay, so I've still got the in progress marker here because we're not open for business quite yet. We still got a lot of detail to do. Let's go in so you can see this. We've got torches all over the place. We don't have an inside ceiling. We need some detail here. Look at the walls. They're boring. We've got torches. It would do for some plant life and some, I don't know, just a little bit more detail all around. And so I'm probably going to be doing that off camera here, simply because we've got a lot that we want to accomplish here in the episode today. So let me show you kind of what we also did back here. I went with the daub and wattle. That's the name for this. So I kind of wanted to bring that in. I did the same thing over on my house over in Port Hypermine proper. I've since changed it out. I originally did diorite, but I've changed it out for the bone block since we've got that now. And so I'm bringing that back in here using the spruce logs for kind of the structure. And then I think, let's bring up F3. Yep, that is light gray stained glass. Excellent. And F3 again. Good deal. So what we need to do back here is kind of boring. There's no detail on the wall other than this and this. So 2 layers, but there's not much more than that. It's kind of, I don't know. It's a start. Okay. It's a good canvas on which to paint something, but I think we need a little bit more, and we certainly need some more or some landscaping around here. So I've got some materials together. I'm going to get doing that off camera, and I'll bring you back once we've got, well, a lot more progress here, both in terms of the details on the building and in the landscaping. So I will see you in just a little bit. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to bring you along the path here to show you kind of what I've done. I extended the range of the exterior landscaping a little bit. We're coming out here just to make this path a little bit nicer. Hopefully, Hector doesn't mind so much since this is his shop right here. But we've brought the excavation out, or the exterior landscaping, and then you kind of start to see a little bit more work having been done. So we had this little cave area under here. I didn't fill it in. I've just kind of covered it over because if I go too far over, I'd be encroaching upon Hector's space. So we're just going to kind of leave that alone. And I think he's got some stuff down there as well. So I didn't want to go too much further. And then up here, get into a whole lot more. So what I've done is I kind of brought the hill out a little bit right here and then all around, and kind of, well, not kind of, I really did add a lot of bulk to this hill and tied it in over here to this mountain right here. Didn't do much back here. Well, we got some spiders hanging out. Didn't do much back here because I don't really know what we should do. And that's kind of Basket's domain right there. So just keep this drop off back here. And if we ever need to, we can come back and work on that. But on the exterior, here in the, what is this? The daub and wattle. That's what I've been calling it. Hopefully that's correct. I've come in with some windows to just put in a little bit more detail. It's kind of just the bland, I keep saying kinda. It was just bland with the straight bone blocks. So I've come in with some windows. Those are dark oak fences, and adds a little bit of visual interest there. And then here on the stone portion, we've got stairs surrounding the window, and then right there on the corners, just some chiseled stone brick. So there we go. And then all around, what I've done is brought in some 2 tall flowers, some ferns, and my favorite, probably the, well, what are they? That's the orchid. The allium is my other favorite, if you can have multiple favorites. So then I came in and did a couple of large trees. Well, that's not really a super tree. It's like a short super tree. So I did that trick where you put the column of dirt up, and the, well, you can see the result there. That really should have some more leaves in it. Maybe I'll bring some more of those in. That was where the column of dirt was. And my voice is starting to give out a bit. And then this is just a standard super tree. And then we got a spruce over here. All right, so up front, we've got a little bit of an awning. And then when we go in, here is more of the design. So we've got a ceiling going in. I've got these columns going across. They're not columns, I guess. They're the rafters, so holding up the ceiling, and then it's tied into the main structure there. I did have to move down our redstone lamps there, but oh well. So those should still work. And I wonder, do I have... I should have a diamond. Yes, so we can still see that this thing works. Chuck it in there. And it should go. Yep, so we've got that redstone lamp turned on, and then this one. So as we go all the way across, we should see them all turn on. Well, we're not going to win, so we're not going to see that one. And we already know we're not going to win because the glowstone is not on the center spot. All right, now it's resetting, and so there we go. Okay, nothing too bad. I did come in and add an ATM, and we've got lighting on the inside so that nothing will spawn in here. This is just a hidden sea lantern. So this is pretty much covered. And then we've got some instructions here. Let's just take a look. Real simple. Welcome to the One-Armed Bandit. That's what we're going to call the shop. Maybe I'll come up with a sign later, but for now we'll leave it. Throw a diamond onto the nether brick slab for each spin. And there's the nether brick slab. So there we go. We've got our instructions. We've got all the decoration going. So I think it's probably time, 1, to put this away, and then 2, to go over to spawn, because we've got a little bit of another project to do. So I'll meet you over there. And we're back here over at spawn, looking at this monstrosity of a mob farm. So we got this monolithic tower, stone brick only, rising up out of the ground. This isn't anything to look at. It's not worth looking at here. What we need to do is we need to fill back in the ground, and then we need to work on some sort of nicer decoration to put around this in line with our castle that we've been putting up all season long. So in this case, what I'm thinking will probably be once again going back to the BWO Castle Pieces map and taking some inspiration there. Probably taking some inspiration from the cactus farm there as well, probably using similar materials. But what I need to do is, 1, I need to figure out what kind of design. So I'm going to go off into my creative testing world, put something together, and then we'll figure out what materials we need for all of that. Probably the same thing. So you don't want to break away from what you've been using too often. So we're going to kind of keep the same thing. This is going to be fitting in with the overall outer wall too. So we got to keep that in mind. Kind of laid it out here. But anyway, let me go off to my creative testing world, work out something there, and then I'll bring you back once I think we can put something good on the map. All right, back in a bit. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I've got the supplies that we're going to need for over here. And since we do have a design in mind, how about we bring on the camera account and maybe cue the music, and I'll meet you over there and we'll get a little time lapse started. So let's get going. ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed that little time lapse. I certainly enjoyed putting that together. And, once again, getting into decorating phase here with the BOO castle pieces. Certainly a lot of fun. Just kind of pulling those together almost like Lego sets and just kind of working them in to where we've got places for them, okay? Trying to, it's a little bit taking the creativity out of it for me, but it's also kind of adding some constraints and making me be creative within a certain realm. So I really like that. It fits within the overall theme that we've been going for here in Hypermine Vanilla for this season with the medieval. And so there we go. So we've got the mob farm all decorated. Got a much larger diameter circle here to play with than we did even over here. And I think it turned out a lot better. And so I'm pleased with it. Hopefully you are as well. Not much going on top of the tower there, but you know what? We're not really concerned about that right now. It's got a mob farm in it. It's very functional. And then ultimately it's going to serve as one of the focal points for our outer wall. And so we'll connect that up through this line right here. Maybe we'll play with that in, I don't know, in the future at some point. We'll connect it up here. And so there we go. Now, with this done, it means that, well, we've gotten 2 projects done in this episode. You think that's enough? No, I think we need another one. So let's head back to Port Hypermine, and I've got an idea for something over there. And we're back here over at Port Hypermine. I'm a little bit far away from the main center, but this seemed like a good enough place for what we were doing. It's not very occupied, kind of off the beaten path a little bit. So we are going to do some work over here. And I think the first order of business is maybe to cut back this hill a bit. And then, no, we've got to set out our workstation. So maybe we'll go on the boardwalk here and just throw down some of these shulker boxes here with our materials for this part of the project. And hopefully we don't take too much time here. I probably should have prepared our area ahead of time. Okay, and this is going to be the junk chest right here. Excellent. And it doesn't look like I have a crafting table. No crafting table. That's pretty bad. That means I got to create another one. Yeah, we're going to create another one. Just because, what's the point in having a building thing without a crafting table, right? So we'll check that down, and we'll also put the bed down just in case. All right, so I'm still on with Run Wild, and he has been helping clear away the night, and as have I, so kind of just a little bit of both, taking care of that. But let's get rid of some of these blocks here, and that sound was kind of loud in my ears. Hopefully it wasn't too bad in yours, but let's get rid of some of this as well. And we can always terraform again. Of course, I said terraform, even though it's not really terraform, but it's called landscaping, if you're to be pedantic about it. And what we're going to do now is something that we need in this snapshot that we're currently in. I think it's, let's take a look here. 17W06A. So in this snapshot, we've got concrete, and I have been enjoying that for some planning purposes. A little hole right there. Interesting. Maybe we can cover that up. What we're going to do is put together a little concrete conversion thing. Okay. So if you're not aware, if you take concrete powder like this, and you put water on it, what's going to happen is it's going to convert to regular concrete. In fact, we can demonstrate maybe just by putting it right there. Okay, so that's the normal look right there. See, it turned solid right there, and then you get concrete proper. Okay, and did I mess that up? No, I didn't mess that up. And we can get that, and then we'll want to convert that as well, but we're going to use our conversion thing, our conversion service here for that. So what we're going to do is grab some items here. We're going to need hopper, chest, a piece of obsidian, and a stone brick. Anything else here? I think we're good for right now. We'll come back to that in a bit. And maybe, just maybe, it's going to come right off this pathway right here. And maybe we'll tear down this tree. So why not? And that should go away. But let's set up our concrete thing here. Dig a hole, and then that's where the obsidian is going to go. Are we right on? No, we need to be on the center like that. And I think that should give us plenty of room. We'll do that, and then that, and like so. Okay. What we're going to do is take a chest and put it right there. And we'll put a hopper into that chest, right? Okay. You with me so far? Hopefully you are. And then we'll put a stair right there so we can still access the chest. And hopefully anything that drops into that hopper will be caught. Okay. And then what we do, grab a little bit more from you. Okay. Excellent. And we'll dig up some of the dirt that's surrounding this. And it's going to be a really small build. Okay. Nothing spectacular. Okay. But, you know, just something simple. And sometimes simple is good. And we'll do that and that and that. And then what we do is we take a water bucket, put it right there. Not quite what I was hoping. And what we'll do maybe, let's see if we can condition our water flow a little bit like that. We can come behind and change it. No, I think it's supposed to be, well, maybe not. That looks kind of cool, right? I think so. We'll do this. No, that's regular concrete. And then what you do, yeah, okay. So now, how does all this work? And why don't we have anything more around that? Well, let's just grab, say, all the white concrete powder, because that's the one we're going to need first. We're going to put that in our offhand, okay? Then we're going to point our cursor right here, and we're going to right click and left click at the same time, okay? Let's see if I can get that maybe not right in the block. Okay, so you see what's happening? So I'm right clicking, and that's placing the concrete powder on the piece of obsidian, and then left clicking is running the diamond pickaxe, and we'll see if anything fell in there. Nothing fell in there. So that may not actually help us in the future, but it's a nice enough mechanic to have in there just in case, especially when we enclose this whole thing, which is what I'm going to do right about now. We're going to take that white concrete and we're going to maybe come in like that, and we're going to use a daub and wattle. I really like daub and wattle, in case you didn't know, and especially for our medieval style this season. And I might have to dip into more of my white concrete. I've been prepping it for a build coming up in the future. And that build, in case, well, you might know about it if you've been following along with me in my Hyper Antics kind of sub-genre or sub-series. Yeah, we had a little jaunt over there preparing some of the materials for some of the planning for our witch farm perimeter. So there we go. We've got daub and wattle, or well, we've got white concrete there, and then maybe what we'll do is another one right there. Okay, I think at this point I am taking too much time talking on camera. I'm going to go off camera and build the rest of this little building right here, and I'll bring you back once I'm done. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the grand reveal on the concrete converter. Here we go. So, what do you think? Finished the building off camera and then came in, added a little path to go all the way around to the other path here. So we've got our beachfront path. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. And then we've got the other walkway that goes back towards spawn, or well, to the main rail station and then to spawn. So got a little path connecting that little throughway. And then we've got the final design all the way around here. And hopefully you think it looks pretty cool. So yeah, I think it turned out pretty well, and I think one of the things we need to do is probably convert some stuff for the witch farm build. Maybe we'll grab some of this right here, just a little bit to show you that this thing is still working properly. And then we can take a look at some of the exterior decoration. Came in with some bone meal and just threw that down all over the place, brought in some 2 tall flowers like I've done elsewhere, and some ferns, grew some of these tall trees. And then over here, I noted earlier that we had a little hole in the ground. I've covered that over just so something doesn't come up and surprise us. So yeah, I've kind of returned this area back to forested spot that it was after digging down that hill. But I think what we're going to do now is come in here and try this out and then do a little bit of housekeeping. Okay. So first things first, next week is going to be episode number 50. And so what I've got planned for that is a little world tour of things that are not built by me. So I'm going to go around and just take a look at what everybody else has been working on the server. We've got a lot of streamers, and so you may not have seen some of what's going on. We've got a lot of really cool builds on the server. So I want to kind of highlight that. And while we're doing that, it might be good to have some Q&A. So if you've got any questions burning on your mind to ask Soap, feel free to ask those either in the comment section down below, or you can catch me on Twitter, or ask.fm/MCSoapTheGreat. There should be a link to that in the description, and so you can ask the questions there. Also upcoming is we're getting very close to 1,000 subscribers. That's right. It's been a long time, slowly but surely here and there. So if you've got an idea, say for a 1,000 subscriber special, feel free to drop that to me in any of the aforementioned places, either in the comment section down below or on Twitter, or, just however, if you want to get it to me somehow, just let me know. But if you've got some ideas for that, I would love that if you do have some ideas, and, if you want to help that process to go a little bit quicker, feel free to share and like. But anyway, I think we've done pretty well in this episode. We've got 3 major projects done, something useful for the community right there. So I think we can say this episode has been really, really good. So we've got a lot of progress. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, a like is always appreciated. And if you haven't done so already, think about subscribing so you are up to date with everything going on the channel. That's going to be it for now. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.